So YouTube recently gave me my 2 weeks notice that my monetization would be shut off and my partner status revoked because I haven't uploaded in a long time. This led to a number of things crossing my mind all at the same time. The first being, has it seriously been 2 years since I uploaded last? Yikes. The second thing is that I got a sort of rush of excitement of having a fire under me to push me to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time, which is make new videos. And the unfortunate third thing was a sort of sadness at realizing I wouldn't be able to make this grand return that I had daydreamed of for a while. Due to lack of prior planning and time constraints and work crunch and the pandemic, what I would really love to do is come back and dazzle my longest time subscribers. I mean, some of you have been around for 8 years as of last week. To give you guys something introspective and well-scripted and deep, something that elevates what I used to do and showcases everything I've learned since I've been absent. But perhaps fittingly, the only thing I managed to find time for in this brief window before YouTube takes away my grand $2 to $3 per month hoard in ad revenue was the same thing I've been finding time for between long work hours and quarantine depression naps. So if you'll join me for a few minutes, I can't promise a video essay that will change your outlook on life or how you view games, but I would simply like to ask you to join me for monkey time. Let's talk about Bloons TD6. Put my glasses on now. Look, they just reflect everything. It sucks. So, Bloons, where to start? Well, why not hit all of the YouTuber tropes today and start with a little bit of being old and remembering things. I am rapidly approaching 30, and what that means is that when I play Bloons TD6, I'm not just playing a funny monkey game I found on the App Store. It means that when I popped it open for the first time and saw the tack shooter and the boomerang monkey, I got a lot of nostalgia because, well, I played Bloons TD 1 when it came out 14 years ago in 2007. I'm not sure if this is quite necessary, but I suppose I should explain the gameplay if you, the viewer, have never seen or played a tower defense game before. They were pretty relevant 2 decades ago, especially in the Flash game space, but perhaps not as much these days. So a quick overview is warranted. Basically, there's a set path traversed by enemy units. In this case, ambivalent balloons called, Bloons. The player has a set amount of lives, and each enemy unit reduces those lives by traveling the entire path and exiting the map. The goal is to place towers, each with different attack ranges and abilities and properties, to attack these enemy units and stop them from reaching the end. In your average tower defense, the enemies would be a bunch of different units with different traits. Think things like orcs or gargoyles or planes, tanks, stuff like that. But Bloons' major theme is that each time the enemy units become more difficult, it's just adding another shell around the initial enemy. So red Bloons are encased by blue Bloons, which move faster, which are encased by green Bloons that move even faster, etc., etc. There are, of course, variants like camo, which can only be seen by certain towers, lead, which can only be popped by heavy weapons or heat, purple, which doesn't really get like a cool name or anything, or like a theme, but it resists magic, and a whole bunch more, ending with the category of Moabs, which are blimps that contain a legion of Bloons within them and a massive health bar. Again, I'm just trying to cover all my YouTuber bases right now, and that of course includes explaining something that I expect you probably already understand, because why else would you have clicked on a video about it in the first place? But on the off chance that you didn't know what a tower defense was, or what Bloons are, or any of that stuff, welcome to the space. I put that bit in for your sake. I hope you're having a great time. Grab a drink. Grab your own drink. I can't provide you with one, but you should grab one. One of the things that I found most fascinating experiencing Bloons TD6 was going back and playing some of these older iterations of the game. I didn't play all of them, but I definitely looked through the wikis and searched through old images for the series, and it's pretty wild that, in all honesty, TD6 is the first game in the whole series that looks really good. I know that sounds reductive, and I don't mean to be so harsh, but the jump from TD5 to TD6 is like night and day. We can go way back and have a pretty good laugh looking at the origins of the series. It's a set of pretty solid games given the limitations and the era before indie games hit the mainstream, but while mechanically sound, visually these games don't really deliver. And the style held for the handful of years that Bloons was a mainstay in the Flash scene, including all of its spin-offs at the time like Monkey City and TD Battles. And then, as far as new entries in the series, it seemed like it was just silent for a long time, until TD6 came out with this brand new and frankly quite incredible art style. TD6 is the first in the entire series to make the jump to 3D, keeping with the classic style by utilizing an isometric view of the maps, but adding the fluid and expressive models of the tower units, you know, the monkeys, to give everything depth and life. I think TD5 has like 3D for the tracks, but the monkeys are still just these simple top-down little flash guys, which is more what I'm talking about here in regards to the quote-unquote 3D jump. The portrait art for every unit really takes center stage for me. Where TD5 had the general idea down for changing the visuals as you upgraded each of your monkeys, TD6 fully realized these concepts in a way that adds so much more flavor to this strange universe. You get not only the color changes to show your monkey is upgraded, but also this wonderfully expressive art that shows character and personality. Even though these are just tower units, more than previous titles, they feel like characters, which is cool and fun for a simple tower defense. And that's a fairly good launching point into what is probably the most surprising part of this game for me. What kept me coming back again and again and again, despite also having games like Hades around to play. The upgrade system for the monkeys is like the perfect midpoint of simple and complex for a game like this. I'm sure there are a bunch of tower defenses out there that have gone much deeper with their systems, but what excites me about Bloons is the fact that this fairly straightforward approach also comes with meaningful decisions baked into choosing upgrades. Okay, so let's just get into it so you can understand what I mean. Every monkey has 3 possible upgrade paths, each catering to a different end goal for the monkey's power. Each of the 3 paths has 5 total upgrades, and as I'm sure you would expect, they get more expensive the further along the tree you go, from tier 1 to tier 5. The part that I'm most interested in is the upgrade path limitations. See, in TD6 you're given these 3 paths for every monkey, but once you've elected to choose an upgrade in 2 of those paths, the remaining 3rd one becomes locked for that tower. So now you're limited to these 2 upgrade branches, but then once again, when you're a bit further along and you decide to take your first tier 3 upgrade, another lock applies to your secondary path, keeping it from advancing beyond tier 2. So here's an example of what upgrading looks like with your standard dart monkey. You have your sharp shots, quick shots, and long-range darts, pretty much the who's who of basic boosts to any tower. So let's position the dart monkey with a clean straight line to shoot down. So it seems like a pretty great idea to open up with sharp shots so it can pierce as many targets as possible. And then for this, we'll pick up long-range darts so that it can start shooting earlier in the round and taking out balloons that are further away and closer to the spawn point. After some time and with more cash, we can grab razor sharp shots to pierce even more units at once, and then on the bottom tree we can take enhanced eyesight, giving more range and the special bonus of being able to hit camo balloons, a more difficult enemy type that's going to show up later. From there is the final lock-in decision. One of these 2 paths is done for this tower, and we need to choose which one to keep upgrading. There's the Spike-a-Pult, which pierces an immense amount of balloons at once and can even ricochet off walls in maps that have them. And then we have the Crossbow, which increases range, pierce, and makes it so that each shot will now destroy 3 layers of a balloon instead of just 1. For this example, we take the Crossbow because it's cool and fun and edgy and gets a neat little purple headband, and wow, look at the little guy go. So that's how upgrades work, right? Like with every single monkey, you have the option to pick 2 paths that fit your needs and then really hone in on one of those paths to bring you closer to victory. And I think that generally, that's some pretty killer game design. The first thing that makes this compelling to me is that every time I place down the exact same base tower in whatever level I want to play, I have a variety of options for how I can use it to get to the end goal of that stage. The second thing that captures me about this is that almost all of these upgrades are priced in a way that ensures you are constantly deciding whether to spend on more monkeys or save for a huge power spike on one of your existing towers. This calls back to what I said about the complexity being in a sweet spot for me. The core decisions always come with clear results. Early on, it could be huge to add just 1 more dart monkey to the board, but for long-term results, it's crucial to save up and get at least one of your pivotal towers enhanced to the point that it does a majority of the heavy lifting for your setup. You'll often find yourself in a situation where there's a high likelihood some balloons are going to manage to get past your most powerful tower within the next round. But you're still maybe about $200 shy of that next crucial blowout upgrade, and you have to decide if you're going to risk it or dump some cash into an extra line of defense and delay that power boost even more. It feels like the tension is always on this sort of sine wave pattern, dancing back and forth between, oh no, I'm about to lose, and I am the king of aerostat obliteration. So yeah, that's what kept me locked in. 50 plus hours now on Steam and probably at least another 10 or so on my phone thanks to the cloud save. I know I have a habit of aggrandizing the little things in videos, especially when it comes to game design, so if you're saying, yeah, that's just how game difficulty works, dude, I totally get it and you're not wrong. I just think it's worth noting that after how much time I've spent with the game, it still feels satisfying every single time I click the grape shot upgrade on the Monkey Buccaneer. Every time I see the little visual flare and then the cannon spread starts shredding through the waves. You thought my obsession with pirates was limited to Twitter shitposts? The first thing I spent my monkey money on, yes, it's actually called monkey money, was the naval captain hero unit and her pirate-themed alternate skin. This swashbuckling train wreck never stops. Oh, right, I didn't explain hero units, or powers, or insta-monkeys, or odysseys, or races, or monkey knowledge. Yes, it's actually called monkey knowledge. You know what? Speaking of incredibly on-the-nose monkey theming, there's something about this game that amuses me to no end, and only me, not one single person online has ever had this thought ever. Original observation, do not steal. So obviously there's a ton of different towers and characters, and as I said before, the art for everything is charming and fun, and all of this comes together to create a silly little monkey universe where everything is about monkeys, right? Well, not everything. So obviously, because this is Bloons TD6, I'm sure we're all on the same page that there have been at least 5 games in the series prior to this one. There's a lot of stuff that carries over from that, be it maps repurposed one-to-one from previous entries to, of course, a lot of the mainstay monkeys. But it feels wrong to call them all monkeys, because, well, they're not. I am in complete understanding that these are primarily here because of nostalgia and continuity, but why is it that this game is just absolutely loaded up with monkeys? We got catapult monkeys, we got superhero monkeys, we got engineer monkeys, we got Australian monkeys, we got so many dang monkeys, a monkey for every occasion. But there is no monkey manning the bomb shooter. There is no monkey operating the tack shooter. There is no monkey inside of the Spike Factory, I assume, probably. The juxtaposition is so stark that I can just never get this off of my mind. 99% of this game is silly yee-hoo peanut chimp with cartoon weapons, aside from, you know, the cold and emotionless unmanned death machines that aren't addressed in any way. There's an icon that you can purchase that just came out that shows a monkey inside of a tack shooter, but as far as I'm able to find, these are done by fans and cameo artists and aren't really factored into the canon. Also, even if it was canon, that still doesn't address the, canon. And if you enjoy the dissonance of funny monkeys having automated killing machines, you'll be pleased to hear that these chimps do all sorts of other war crimes as well. Have a relaxing stay at Monkey Village, home of chemical weapons and sanctioned assassins. Want to violate the Geneva Convention? Try our anti-personnel landmines. Looking for nuclear warheads? We've got them in land, sea, and air-based varieties. A weapon of mass destruction for all occasions. We even have a Monkey Wall Street and CIA if systemic and foundational problems are more your speed. Monkey Village. It's just as bad as real life. Anyways, the game is fun, go play it, bye.